Hey, Charles Traynor, buddy. How are you doing today?
Hey, Woody, I'm doing all right. Wondering if you can feel it. This
Yep,
this review we're going to do today,
yep,
my my suggestion. So might as well let the cat out of the bag on that one.
yep. It's the Jacksons. We all know them as the Jackson 5, but they are here called the Jacksons, and instead of the Jackson 5, it's the Jacksons Live.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Destiny Tour from 1981.
yeah.
Um, yeah, this is post Motown. Jermaine's not in the group.
Oh,
Good point. Um, it's Randy, Marlon, Jackie, the
yep,
unsung hero of the Jacksons, Tito,
yep,
and MJ himself,
yeah,
Michael Jackson. This is post also Off the Wall,
yeah,
which was a huge solo success for him. Of course, he would go on to bigger
yeah,
solo successes. Obviously, his next album, which kept many, many, many great albums from being number one
yep,
for a couple years.
yep.
That's right, folks. Def Leppard used to be pretty good. Used to be
Yeah,
around this era, but they were kept at number one. So was Van Halen, mighty VH,
yeah.
and many other great albums. They're still great albums. It don't matter, but that's
Mm-hmm.
just how big of a phenomenon Michael Jackson is. Now, people who watch your show enough, they know you're just slightly older than me, so I think you were more aware of the actual Jackson 5 era group, and I kind of came in
Yeah.
probably with Off the Wall, actually. I probably had seen little clips, but was very young. Didn't really know that much. I do remember a Jackson 5 cartoon, though.
Yeah.
You
That one
remember
I
that?
didn't see a lot, but I do remember it.
But what was your whole thing with the Jackson 5?
Oh well, I was listening to them when I was about like 5, and I liked ABC and The Love You Save and all that stuff, and they were one of my favorite groups that I would dance to and listen to, and they were one of the bands who influenced me wanting to write music because they were so fun with their dancing and their songs. And there were other groups too who I liked also, but they they were really considered to be quite good. And I remember my Aunt Gloria um, gave me an album of theirs for um, my birthday called Maybe Tomorrow, and it completely split in the middle, so I wasn't able to hear it. And she was not too happy about that. And then later on, I found a bunch of albums that were um, in like uh, someone was throwing them away, and one of them was Michael Jackson's Ben. So I took that and I realized I only had the cover. So I had the cover, but I kept the cover, but I never had the album. So there you go.
There you go. One of the OG fans, and a little bit later, not completely late, at least it wasn't like Invincible Michael Jackson era. I mean, it was
Yeah.
Off the Wall, which was late 70s. I was also aware of The Wiz,
Yeah.
which I think, I don't know if that was 70s or 80s, though. I can't remember, but it don't
Yeah.
really matter. I was definitely aware of them, but just not as much aware. Like somebody would be a little bit older, but at this point I am. So let's get into it. Fuck it. Let's
All
do
right.
it.
Who wants to
You
start?
go first.
Okay.
Go first, Lee.
All right. The first song, Can You Feel It? Okay. I do like the studio version But as this version kept going, I was really getting into the funky groove of the band, who were playing top notch. And in some ways, I'm almost tempted to say I like this version better. I'll settle for the middle ground. They're both really good, but in different ways. What do you think?
Well, it takes a minute to get into this one, complete with the. This has come up a few times on the review here. Slightly out of tune trumpet blast. Suppose the brothers were making a dramatic entrance too, because it's a rather long intro. But Lordy, when they kick in, it gets pretty fucking dynamic, man. I mean, we got Tito going off on that guitar. Randy Jackson does a fine job on some vocals here as well, but the highlight is when Michael takes over, and as it really goes into another dimension at that point. If we get a little bit more ad-libs vocally on this version in the studio, I thought it was a solid, highly energetic opener.
All right. What do you think of Things I Do For You?
A track off the Triumph album. Michael on full-out lead vocals here, the brothers backing him up. Nice little funky vibe to this one. It seems as if it's had a bit of sounds of the past as well. Got a nice dance feel to it. But for me, far from a much needed track. It seems like it was a filler cut on the album alone. So it's basically that here, which is odd, the second track on the set. I thought, nothing spectacular. I've heard better.
All right. Well, I don't know the original studio version of the song because I never really heard that particular album. Wait, if it's Triumph, if that's the same one that Can You Feel It is on, then I did have it, but it's not one of the ones that I remember. But, so I don't know if it was originally, I wrote that I don't know if it was originally a Jackson 5 song or a song by one of the members on a solo album, even though I now know it was a Jackson 5 song. But I do like it. And it carries a groove that started on the first track and it keeps going, and I really dig it. Alright, now for Off the Wall. I'll say for this what I said about Can You Feel It. I do really like the studio version, and that's the iconic version. But this is so much a close shave, and at points I liked some of the musicianship a little better than the studio version. So I'll say this is pretty much equally as good. Let the party keep rolling! What do you think?
Yeah, we get the title track off Mike's mega Off the Wall album here. I'm not really sure why the brothers agreed to do so much. There's a lot of his material on this album. Solo material, but maybe it was a strike while the iron's hot thing, or Michael only agreed if he got his numbers in. I don't know. That'd be interesting to find out. But this is one of the better songs off of that album, Off the Wall. Not my favorite, but one I enjoy quite a bit. And even though Quincy Jones had nothing to do with this recording, which we got to find some Quincy Jones stuff on the road. But anyway, besides Michael Jackson. You hear his influence on the track, definitely, the way it's structured, all that. And way better for me than Things I Do For You. This is classic Michael here.
Okay, what do you think of Ben?
Well, 4 tracks in, and we get a classic here. Everyone's favorite ode to a killer rat. Mike even gives some instructions to the sound crew here. Randy Jackson on piano. And some guy named Bill on the synthesizer. It's interesting, he shouts out the band so quick. I mean, a lot of times you won't hear that so quick in a live set, but he does here. And, I mean, when one has it, they have it. He sings it just as fine as a young adult here as he did when he was a child. Even if there may be points where a note or two is missed, I mean, it's live. The flute is a little annoying, I'm not a big fan, but hey, what the hell, it's Ben. Get your lighters out, folks.
Alright, I like this more than the original, and yes, I don't dislike the tune. I had the album cover of Michael Jackson's album called Ben. Somehow I didn't have the record, and that bothered me, but I have heard the album since. but I dig it. Perhaps the introductory mentioning of all the people in the beginning was a bit excessive, and I was waiting to hear the song start proper. But that's a minor complaint. I pretty much really enjoyed this. Okay, now for This Place Hotel. Okay, this is fantastic. So far, it's the best song on the album. I love it. I haven't heard the original in quite a long time, but that's great too. What do you think?
Another album track off Traynor here. We're getting the energy back up here coming off Ben. But man, that guy on that trumpet really isn't that great. And I'm sorry to say that. I'll look past that though. This one has a pretty cool funk feel to it. This was practically a Michael solo song in the album. And no, it's not a cover of Elvis's tune. An actual original song it may have fit in with the other late 70s music of the ilk of the time. It's okay. I don't know if I like it quite as much as you did, but again, I've heard much better from Michael in my life. I think that's why. But it's a passable song here.
Okay, what do you think of She's Out of My Life?
Well, we're going back off the wall here. Some pretty cool piano, which if it was provided by Randy Jackson, I gotta say it's pretty solid. I'm guessing it was him due to some synthesizer being played at the same time. But let's just say the crowd was totally into it once Michael started singing. Complete with, "Can I come down there and sing to you?" I mean, now this is excellent. Mike sings the hell out of this one. Pretty sure a tear or two was shed as Mike milked this ending. For me, best song thus far on the album.
Okay, this song was not one of my favorites on Michael Jackson's Off the Wall, but I've come to respect it, and the same goes for the live version. I do like the live version better, and I didn't totally dislike it. I think it fits the album well, and I probably wouldn't skip it if I was listening to the whole album again, so it's fine. Alright, now for Movie and Rap. Parts of I Want You Back and Never Can Say Goodbye. I could understand this perhaps working in the live setting, but it was filler to me and I felt it was unnecessary. I want to hear those old songs and I don't need Michael saying he doesn't want to do them. It sounded fake and I could have done without those few minutes. What do you think?
Yeah, like you said, I want you back, never can say goodbye. I think God to Be There, but that was a newer one, I think. I don't know. Strange little interlude complete with Ed Sullivan. I found it silly, and I don't think it was needed on the album. Perhaps live, it would have been okay. Maybe there was an intermission, and this broke up the intermission, I'm not sure. They're just goofing around. Basically, just a lead into the next medley. It's not terrible, but you can skip it, really. It might have been cool live, though.
Yeah. What do you think of the medley, I Want You Back with ABC and The Love You Save?
So, after all that silliness and show of that previous cut, we do get this medley of classic J5 cuts. They interflow really well. Now, upon me, some of the weaker tracks that I've heard, in my opinion, that could have been let out, and these three could have been done in their entirety. Michael doesn't struggle at all on these. It seems to be the go-to medley they used to do, because they also did this on the Victory Tour, which was the next tour. It's good, but man, I would have loved to hear all three in their entirety. And unfortunately, I think we do miss Jermaine a bit here, though. But it's a fun classic J5 medley.
Okay, the part starting with I Want You Back sounded not quite up to par with the original, but ABC and The Love You Save were awesome. And the one thing that bothered me was instead of a medley, I would have preferred hearing all three songs as whole songs. I felt this was like a teaser, but a mischievous teaser. I really wanted to hear the whole song, so I have to give this a pass. Because even though I pretty much loved how the band played and everything, it bothered me that it only did snippets and not whole songs. Okay, now for I'll Be There. They seemingly did the whole song, and maybe they did, I wasn't much a fan of the studio version, but they were doing it quite well live, except it was way too short. And then Michael did some strange rapping vocalizations, which were quite good but didn't fit the song. But the pauses with the audience waiting and cheering were a bit too long for my taste. So I will say I'll give this a pass because they did it quite well, but I didn't like the long pause and the specific place where the vocalizations were. It's like they were making fun of their old songs, which I don't care for, but I'll get past it. What do you think?
Well, for me, at this point, as I said, I mean, yeah, some more oldies but goodies here. It's not the full version, and it's slightly abridged. And again, it's because there's no Tremaine, and his part was just too iconic to the cut, I guess. You don't get that section of the tune. And he does it twice on the original, which is a bit underwhelming on this version. But I mean, they do a fine version with this a little abridged version. Mike does okay, but the extended, and maybe those extended vocal ad-libs at the end was to make up for No Jermaine and his part. A decent version, but it doesn't hold a candle to the studio version. But if you were there live, you probably wouldn't mind it.
Yeah. What do you think of Rock With You?
I mean, come on. This is just an excellent song, written by Rod Temperton, someone that just seemed to come up with some of the great songs from Michael to sink his teeth in. Definitely seemed to be a crowd favorite as well, as they lit up when the keyboards kick in on this. It's definitely songs like this that set the foundation that Rod launched Mike into the stratosphere. A great version, and the brothers do a great job backing him up on the track. Another one that I hold in high regard thus far.
Okay, I'm not a big fan of this song. Something about it seems a bit too lightweight. I felt it needed a little more punch, and this live version doesn't deliver the punch. It does deliver an authentic sounding version of it. It's not worse than the studio version. But even though I might not skip it if I hear it again on here, it won't be one of the songs I'm mostly looking forward to hearing. Alright, now for Lovely One. The original is fantastic, and this is fantastic too. Things are back on track, and I'm enjoying it. What do you think?
It was a single off the Triumph album, and if I had a gripe, it's pretty derivative, and basically sounds like a remake of Shake Your Body Down to the Ground. Also, a rather longer track here. I guess they just wanted people to dance to remakes of other songs. Yeah, unfortunately, this one misses the mark a bit for me. At least the trumpeter reined it in a bit, finally. But yeah, this one didn't do much, but it's just too derivative of another song we might hear.
Alright, what do you think of Don't Stop Till You Get Enough?
What about Working Day and Night?
Oh yeah, I did listen to Working Day and Night. Okay, I just didn't write it down, because I had stopped before doing some other stuff. But yeah, I do think that this song is just as good as the original, and I really liked the beat and the way that they played it. So I kind of like it a little bit better than the original. What do you think?
Yeah, we're back to some off the wall here. This is way more like it. You get some pretty killer percussion on the track. They're full out on fire in this performance. Mike sings it up his sleeve. Tito rocking on the guitar, and Randy Jackson's conga work is a highlight. To me, it's not quite as good as the studio, but I mean, I really enjoyed it. It didn't suck, I'd say that. And I put it in the upper half as far as the good tracks. Not the best track in the album, but solid and fun.
Okay, now what do you think of Lovely One?
We already did that. We're on Don't Stop Till You Get Enough now.
Okay.
Yeah, Lovely One to me sounded like a remake. Remember?
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. What do you think of Don't Stop Till You Get Enough?
And now we're getting something, and now we're getting somewhere. I love the little explosion going to this one. Probably my favorite off the wall song. Does Michael struggle with the falsetto on this? Of course not. I mean, there's like no way you can't groove out to the song. If you don't, then just stop listening to music. Listen to like Lou Reed, Metal Machine music or something. I wouldn't call myself a dancer, but this kind of music inspires even me to want to get down. Just slightly under the studio version, but another one I put up there is a great version on this album.
Right on. I put, this is very good. I do like the studio version a little bit better, but this in no way stinks. I do like it. And now the last song, Shake Your Body on Down to the Ground. This is great. I like the studio version also, but this is as good. A great way to close the album. What do you think?
Yeah, we close with the proper version of Lovely One here. I'm going to assume that they had the encore and then they came out because it had long, weird science fiction-y sounds thing going on in the beginning. The keyboard work here is rather infectious, and the band sounds really good on this version, in fact. Props up that trumpeter. And maybe that dude had an off day. I mean, it happens. If I had a complaint, Mike sounds a bit fatigued on this version. Interestingly, because this album was recorded at 5 different venues, so assuming that this one was deemed the best version, it isn't jarring. It just sounds a bit breathless at points. But hey, who wouldn't be? I'd probably stick with the studio version for my taste, but live, I'm sure this was an exciting way to go out. So while there was a few songs I could do without, I do think this is a pretty good album to document pre-Thriller Michael Jackson. Overall, fun listen that you can skip a couple and get the gist of it.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I think that the songs that I felt were skippable were different than the ones you did, but we agreed on the number of songs.
Well, we agreed about that Ed Sullivan.
Yeah. So we.
Let's skip that for sure.
Yeah. So basically we sort of felt the same way about the album.
Just a song or two, but I mean, still, it was a fun one, and I got news for you. I actually think it was a wrong album.
Huh?
I mean, we did it, and I realized this after the fact. There's another one that's newer, but it's actual Jackson 5 live. Down the road, we'll have to look into that. I realized it today. I was like, this was not necessarily the one I wanted to do, but it don't matter. I still enjoyed it. No, there was another one, but I forgot.
Oh.
This one I found too, and I was like, well, this is interesting. I heard enough of it, and I thought, well, what the hell? But I found the other one, but coming down the road, not too quick. We don't want to get, we don't want to do that. There's a little time to simmer. But I do want Lee down the road really soon to pick something done by Quincy Jones that's not Michael Jackson that he enjoyed, because I'm sure there's something.
There's maybe one.
Just one.
But I'll pick it.
Wow. There you go, folks. But
yeah, he's produced a lot of junk.
I would still recommend people check this album out, though, Lee. Even a couple songs, a little messy, but this is a fun album.
But it was mostly a 9 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, and it does make you want to get up and shake your body down to the ground.
And I would have wanted to hear it live.
Oh, yeah, this has been a fun show to see. So.
Yeah.
I personally definitely miss Michael Jackson. I'm a huge fan, and we miss you. From me to you, whoever is listening.
Yeah.
So. And Lee misses Tito.
I think I walked down the street and I missed him. Yeah.
Oh, Tito. Can I get enough love, oh, Tito?
Yeah, he's someone who is, it's like when you go to the Chinese restaurant and you see pizza on the menu and nobody ever gets it. He's like the pizza in the Chinese restaurant.
To be fair, he's no longer with us either. So exactly. And good.
Yep. Right on. Thank you. Okay. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.